On today's episode, you'll learn how to build $1 million business in 11 months. And if you don't build that $1 million business, at least you'll have all the secrets so you can do it much faster and better than you've ever done it before. Welcome to Thriving Launch with Luis Congdon and Kamala Chambers, the show for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want it all.
5 days a week, we bring you different segments to inspire you to live a life of freedom. We interview the leading experts in the field of business, health, and love. Be sure to check out Training Tuesdays, where we give you a clear action plan to grow your own business.
How would you like to be able to interview world-class experts, sit down and have chats with people like Jack Canfield, Marianne Williamson, Robert Kiyosaki, Tim Ferriss, you name it? Would you love to interview other people that you really admire and consider to be your heroes? Well, we've created a course for you that teaches you how to podcast, how to set it all up, and how to get going so that you can really have a successful show and you can do it properly. Over at thrivinglaunch.com, we have a podcasting course, and it's there for you, waiting for you to snatch it up. So head on over to thrivinglaunch.com and let me teach you how to podcast the right way. Today's guest is James Swanwick. He's created these glasses that allow you to sleep better with more ease and allows you to block out that nasty light that comes from your computer, your phone, and everywhere else where fake light is emitted. Also, you're going to learn how to build $1 million business faster and better than you could ever do it.
Welcome to the show, James. Are you ready to launch?
I'm ready to launch. Let's do this.
All right. Well, this is a big topic, and I know there's only so much we can cover in this limited time, but building $1 million business in 11 months, that's incredible. I'd love to hear, how would someone start that process?
Well, I did it with just by picking a physical product that I was interested in. I did it actually just improving a physical product that I was interested in. So I'm the creator of these Swannies blue light blocking glasses, which you wear at nighttime. It blocks the blue light from our electronics, and then it actually helps you sleep a lot better. But the problem is that I was wearing these really ugly kind of Uvex glasses. You know, those kind of glasses that you'd wear if you were mowing the lawn or you're on a gun range and yeah, they're very unsightly. And so I had this idea. I wonder if I could, get the same benefit of using the orange lens, which blocks the blue light, but somehow put it into a stylish pair of glasses. And so that's how I came up with my product called Swannies from my company, Swanwick Sleep. They're blue light blocking glasses. They look very fashionable. You can wear them out to restaurants and with, amongst friends, and people are always saying, oh, they look nice. They're very interesting. Tell me about those. So I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I didn't try to think up a new product. I just took an existing product, which was this, these ugly blue light blocking glasses, and I just made them a little bit better. I just amended them by 20% to get a stylish pair. And, I launched in November 2015, and it became $1 million business in 11 months. So like I always tell budding entrepreneurs, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to take an existing product and make it just a little bit better.
It really reminds me of, I read some studies about, there's a bunch of products that people have taken and improved upon them. And I recall reading some book, it might have been by Napoleon Hill even, but that talked about that, where you can make a lot of money just by taking something and making it better, or seeing where there's a need that maybe someone hasn't invented, but it's almost super obvious. And the glasses thing isn't super obvious to a lot of us, but it seemed kind of obvious to you. And I'm curious, what are some of the things that helped you promote the product, get it out there? Because, okay, so you got this thing, you improved upon it, but now getting it out there so people learn about it and making sure that there's enough eyeballs on the market seeing it.
Well, the first thing I did on day one was just promote the hell out of it on my own personal social media. And I had, and to a degree I still have, a pretty modest social media following. I've got maybe 27,000 followers on my Instagram, 10,000 YouTube, 10,000 Facebook. I mean, it's not huge, it's not small, it's modest, right? I think that's probably the most appropriate word for it. And so what I did was I posted like 5 times a day and said, these are my glasses. And I would do little videos of me wearing them. I'd interview health experts talking about the dangers of blue light while wearing my glasses. I begged people to share it on their Facebook page. So when I wrote a Facebook post, I would talk about the dangers of blue light and how my product can address those concerns. And then at the end, I would say, please share this with someone you might be interested in. So humans need to be told what to do. So if you don't say, please share this, then people won't share it. But because I asked people to share it, some people shared it. Not a lot, but maybe like only 2 or 3% of people actually shared it. But that was enough to get it out to hundreds more people, which is hundreds more potential buyers. I also made sure that I was interviewed on a lot of podcasts around the time. I have my own podcast called The James Swanwick Show. It's been around for about 3 years. And so I was able to, call up some of the guests that I had on my show and just pitch them this idea. Hey, would you like me to teach your listeners about how they can sleep better? And during that interview, I would then mention my glasses, and the conversation would come up about the Swannies blue light blocking glasses. And so people became interested. People would then go to my website, or they'd go to Amazon. And then from there, there's all kinds of little sort of marketing things that you can do to try and encourage people to buy from that point.
Well, I'm sure one thing that would help people is to feel healthier and happier, to grow towards $1 million business in 11 months. One question I have for you is, I'd love to hear for you to share with us, we're all staring at a screen all day long, right? Most of us, our phones, our computers. Will you just tell us like a little bit about blue light and how that affects us?
Yeah, sure. So to the listener listening to my voice right now, you're probably listening to this on your smartphone. You probably downloaded this, or you might be listening to it on your computer. There is a light that's being emitted from your smartphone and your computer display as we speak. So if you look at your smartphone right now, the light that's shining up out of the screen is artificial light. It's mostly made up of blue artificial light. Now, during the daytime, being exposed to that blue light, it's okay. It's fine. But at nighttime, when your body wants to naturally produce melatonin, which is the hormone that enables you to feel sleepy, to fall asleep easily, to sleep well during the night, when you stare into that screen, that blue light prevents you from creating melatonin. So if you're the type of person who's sitting in bed before they go to sleep, staring at your Instagram or your Facebook feed or doing emails, or you're up at night watching Netflix and you're watching Game of Thrones on a Sunday night on HBO and you're staring at your TV screen in the last couple of hours before you go to sleep, your body is unable to produce melatonin. And so your sleep during the night is not as good a sleep as you can get, which means you don't spend that much time in that deep REM phase of sleep, which means you're not restoring your body and your mind as well as you can, which means you wake up in the morning feeling just a little bit tired and just a little bit lethargic. And even if you get 7 or 8 hours sleep, you still wake up feeling tired. People are like, I don't understand. I'm healthy. I eat well. I exercise. I just don't understand why I'm still feeling so groggy. Most of the time it's because you were exposed to too much light at night. So what my glasses do, these blue light blocking glasses, is that you wear these glasses about 90 minutes before you go to sleep. You continue to look on your smartphone. You continue to watch TV, work on your computer, brush your teeth in the kitchen light. The orange lens blocks that artificial blue light. Your body is therefore able to produce melatonin. You're therefore able to fall asleep quickly and spend a long time in that deep REM phase, which means you wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, rejuvenated. Your muscles have grown. You've burned fat in the night. You're clear in mind. You've got clarity. You've got focus. And you're able to live your life the way that nature intended you to.
Love it. I think that's why, now I know why Luis's screen always turns orange at night. He set that on his computer and phone.
There's a setting called Flux, FLUX, which you can download on your computer, and it naturally reduces the brightness level of your computer, so it reduces that blue light. And also on an iPhone, there's a setting called Night Shift, which does the same thing. It turns orange sort of the closer you get to bedtime, which reduces that blue light. And those two settings are excellent, and I would encourage you and your listeners to use both of those. What they don't do, however, is they don't stop you from being exposed to the kitchen light and the bathroom light and the street lights and the TV screen and the alarm clock on your bedside table, which is why a pair of blue light blocking glasses to complement those two things, would work great.
Cool. Thank you for that. And we only have so much time, and there's so many things that I'm wanting to ask you about how you built this business. But what is the thing that you think is the most important thing that our listeners, the thriving launchers, know to create $1 million business of their own in 11 months?
Well, the first thing is, whatever you start doing, it has to solve a problem. I mean, all business is really is discovering problems and then discovering ways to solve those problems. And like I said in the beginning, you don't have to invent something new. You just have to take something and make it a little bit better. I'll give you one more example. There's a guy called Ryan Moran, who's a friend of mine, and he has a podcast called Freedom Fastlane. And he took a yoga mat, right? This the traditional yoga mat, and all he did was he added an extra foot to that yoga mat, and he called them extra long yoga mats. And he made millions of dollars selling extra long yoga mats. That's all he did. So he just went to a manufacturer and said, hey, can you just add an extra foot to the standard length of a yoga mat? And because of that, he was able to then market that to people, because what was the problem? People were like, these yoga mats are too small. Like, I can't fit on this damn thing. I want a little bit of extra space and when I do my power poses. And there you go. He had a business, $1 million business right away. So I would encourage you to think on those things. The other thing is, certainly you have to tell people about the benefits of using your product, whether it's a digital product or a physical product. Too many people talk about the features. Now, I'll tell you the difference. The features of my blue light blocking glasses, for example, are they're made of acetate, they have spring hinges, they're well made, they look good, they're an orange lens that block almost 100% of the blue light. They're all features. But the benefits of my product are you sleep better, you fall asleep quicker, you wake up feeling refreshed, you look better. So they're the benefits. So I would encourage you, whenever you're selling a product, whenever you're trying to persuade people to buy, you just focus on the benefits. So if you go to my website, for example, swanwicksleep.com, you'll see the first headline there is sleep better. That's it, sleep better. That's a benefit. So now when the prospect is landing on my website, they're not seeing acetate frame, fancy 2.5 millicentimeter spring hinge, blah, 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 feature, which is what most entrepreneurs do. They're just seeing the benefit, because all a prospect wants to know is, how the hell is this thing going to help me? So a few things there I would say to get a business off the ground. One, just try and improve on an existing product. Just make something a little bit better. Facebook made MySpace just a little bit better. Facebook, and the Facebook came in and said, let's do it better, and then just completely blew MySpace out of the water. Second thing is just start. Like, sometimes people get stuck in their own head and they're thinking about it for 12 months, 18 months. Oh, I'm going to start this. No, just start. And then once you've started, talk about the benefits, not the features, but the benefits. And if you do those three things, I mean, there's a lot more things, but if you stick to those three things, then you're on your way to having a great business.
This is so important what you're saying, and this is something that I really try to drive home as well. I was just talking with a client, and this happens all the time with clients. I keep explaining what benefits are,
And she kept talking to me about the features. She'd come back with what her features were that she offered, thinking that those were the benefits. So I really encourage you to differentiate between what are the things that you offer, the modalities or the physical attributes of what you're offering versus what people are going to experience. So it seems like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. So I'm so glad you brought that up. Can you talk to me a little bit more about getting your product, whether it's digital or whether it's physical, getting it out there in a bigger way? Because I know that you started with your audience and it sounded a little bit larger than most people. So how do you connect with the right people? What did you do?
Well, I mean, a lot of it really was when I reached out to suggest to people with podcasts or newspapers or magazines, and I reached out to them with a view to somehow getting them to interview me about my product and promote my product. I didn't go to them saying, hey, can you please write about my product? Or, hey, can I please come on your show and talk about my product? I did not do that. What I did do is I spoke in their interest. So what I said was, hey, would you like me to teach your listeners about 7 ways that they can sleep better? So now I'm talking about what I can do for them. Hey, would you like me to educate your readers on 7 ways they can sleep better? So I wasn't saying, hey, can you interview me about my new product that's come out, Swanwick's blue light blocking glasses, which help you sleep? It was, hey, would you like me to come on your show and teach your viewers how they can sleep a lot better? Do you think your listeners or your readers would appreciate that? And then they go, oh yeah, great. Because the hosts of the podcast and the reporters are always looking for ways and stories and interviews that will help their listeners or their readers. So just by switching the framing of it and talking in their interests rather than in my own, I was able to book on podcasts, was able to book in newspapers and magazines. People started writing about the product, and that just drove organic traffic to swanwicksleep.com and also to the Amazon page. So whenever you want anything from anyone, you have to approach it by thinking, how can I give them value rather than how can they give me value? Even though you're actually ultimately your end goal is for them to give you value, with press and promotion and things like that, you have to approach it with, what can I give them? What can I give their viewers? What can I give their readers? What can I do for them and speak in their interests?
So great. We've been here with James Swanwick, and it's been so fantastic talking about how he grew $1 million business in 11 months. Thank you so much for tuning in, and keep thriving, everyone.
You've been listening to the Thriving Launch podcast. For books and resources related to today's episode, make sure to head over to thrivinglaunch.com. We'll see you there.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to stay tuned for the next podcast episode where I'm going to dive in with you and teach you a lot more about how to create a podcast. So if you've been wanting to create a podcast, make sure you're tuning into that episode on how to create a podcast. And we've got a whole series of episodes where we're going to be teaching you and diving into this with you. So go ahead, see you at thrivinglaunch.com. And as always, if you've been listening to the show and you love it, please leave us a rate and review and subscribe to the show on iTunes.